Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video I would like to talk about one of the important topics that has something to do with the conversation between Yhwach and AIZEN'S in the Muken. So we'll talk about what Yhwach's intention was in going to AIZEN'S, as well as the power of AIZEN'S and his impact. All of this according to new information that was mentioned in the final Bleach Exhibition, which was released at the end of 2023, as well as previous information that was mentioned with the Blu-ray episodes of the first part. I know that some people may have heard of all of this information that I will mention in this video because it was released more than a month ago, but as my channel followers know, during that period I had university exams, so I couldn't focus on what's going on at the time about Bleach. So now the exams are over, I was able to check again those news, and so now I'm able to discuss all of this news again with you guys. First of all, the information that was mentioned in that exhibition included several topics about the Soul King, Shinjimaru's Bankai, and AIZEN'S, as well as information about the Bambis. So in this video I will focus only on AIZEN'S, and later we'll talk about the rest of the topics in future videos. And also I would like to thank one of the Bleach fans on Reddit. His name is Arturo, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, because I wasn't able to obtain information from the main source, which is this Japanese fan who apparently attended the exhibition and brought that information, and therefore I relied on his translation. So I asked him to give me exactly the information that was said in that exhibition without any personal opinions, and this is what he did, and thank you again my friend. So as everyone knows guys, it was confirmed in the Blu-ray booklet that the conversation that took place between AIZEN'S and Yhwach happened using the Ryatsu, and what we saw at the end of episode 6 of the first part was just a movement from the studio to picture that conversation for us and nothing else. And we saw that when Aizen appeared again in the Muken in episode 21, he appeared with seals on his eyes and mouth, unlike what happened in episode 6. On the other hand, it was said that because Aizen was fused with the Hogyoku, Yhwach wasn't able to kill him, and even the issue of sealing AIZEN'S wasn't a practical matter for Yhwach, because according to the same source, whether the seal on AIZEN'S was kept or whether Yhwach himself sealed AIZEN'S wouldn't change anything, because both seals will have the same effect, and therefore even the issue of recruiting him in a way that might lead him to betray Yhwach and thus reduce the power of the Wanderreich will be a problem. So Yhwach wanted to win Aizen to his side and offer him an agreement to be allies as long as they have a common enemy, which is Rio or the Salt Site. But as we saw, Aizen rejected Yhwach's proposal and decided not to join him, and here where Yhwach made a fatal mistake, because according to the same source, Yhwach believed that Aizen wouldn't ally himself with the Shinigami under any circumstances. So Yhwach erased from his mind the possibility that Aizen would cooperate with the Shinigami against him. So he left him without making any reaction to Aizen's rejection. It was also mentioned that Aizen the Muken is fused with his Zanpakuto, so that he can use KYOKA SUIGETSU techniques without having to take out the sword. However, the effect level of his Zanpakuto's ability wouldn't be as strong if he used the sword. However, Aizen was able to fill the Muken with his Ryatsu, and this is what made Yhwach affected by KYOKA SUIGETSU, which made him not able to know how much time he spent with Yhwach, with AIZEN'S in the Muken. So this is the information that we had about AIZEN'S in the Bleach Exhibition. What caught my attention, frankly, was the fact that Yhwach believed that AIZEN'S couldn't make any alliance with the Shinigami, so he left him inside the Muken. I don't know on what basis Yhwach thought that AIZEN'S wouldn't make this move. Is it, for example, that Yhwach believes that just because Yhwach and Aizen want to get rid of Ryu, this is in itself will make Aizen in no way want to be with the Shinigami who defend Ryu? Especially since what the Shinigami were doing with Yhwach, like trying to prevent him from invading the Rire Palace, is the same thing they were doing with AIZEN'S, whose goal was to make the Oken and remove Ryu. So I think perhaps this is Yhwach's idea that he came up when he wanted to meet AIZEN'S. However, Yhwach forgot an important thing, which is that even though the Shinigami were the ones who sealed AIZEN'S and put him in the Muken, in the end, if Aizen had been offered the choice to be either with the Shinigami or Yhwach, Aizen will take the Shinigami side. And that is simply because Aizen doesn't want to return the world to its original nature, which is what Yhwach wanted. And this is basically the main difference between Yhwach and Aizen. Aizen Sasuke has a problem with that thing, called Ryu, not the system as a whole, or he wants to remove death as Yhwach wanted. Therefore, if you follow another scenario, where does Yhwach include the possibility that Aizen Sasuke might form an alliance with the Shinigami against him? I think that Yhwach will come with one intention, which is to steal Aizen Sasuke and take him to the Wanderreich. Of course, the issue of killing him, I'm not saying that is completely impossible, but it's very difficult to happen, as long as the Hogyoku is fused to the Aizen. So I think Kubo said that Yhwach wouldn't be able to kill Aizen at that stage of the story, since Yhwach hadn't yet activated the Almighty. But going back to what I said about Yhwach coming to the Mugen with the intention of sealing Aizen, I agree with the idea that the seal that Yhwach might use with Aizen could be the same seal that Yhwach used against Grimy. As mentioned in the manga, Grimy was imprisoned in a room locked in the castle of the Wanderreich, and in the novel it was said that Yhwach had placed a seal on him, that no one was able to do it except Yhwach himself, so that Grimy, even with his imagination power, wasn't able to get past that seal, and therefore this will most likely be the type of the seal that Yhwach will use against Aizen. In addition, I think that Yhwach's entire plan for the first invasion would have undergone a major change, just for the sake of sealing Aizen instead of going to meet him. It is possible that Yhwach would have brought some elite guards with him to ensure that the seal was activated and that Aizen will be moved to the castle, because as Yhwach said, the seal in itself will take some time. But if Yhwach thought about it seriously, he will find a way to reduce that time factor. And so now it remains for us to talk about the issue of KYOKA SUIGETSU and its merging with Aizen Sasuke. So there is a difference between Aizen using KYOKA SUIGETSU without taking out the sword and using his Zanpakuto in its physical form. And this actually goes with the general concept that Kubo talked about in several topics. For example, if a Shinigami awakens the Shikai without using the awakening command or the name of his abilities, the power will not be as strong as if he used it with the name. Therefore, I find it logical even in the case of Aizen using KYOKA SUIGETSU. And according to the last chapters, Aizen appeared in one of the pages with the Zanpakuto sword in his hand. Of course, the Zanpakuto is no longer like the ordinary Asauchi that most Shinigami have, but rather it is integrated with Aizen's body, so that even when the sword comes out, the sword is fused with his hand. And if we can say, it is in the state of partial fusion. So guys, this is what we have of information about Aizen Sasuke. Tell me what you think about this information, and see you guys in my next video.